perhaps, but I love being right in the middle of it on Park Avenue. So that's kind of what I'm enjoying right now, is this push to get everything done more efficiently, more streamlined, and at the press of a button. Less is really more here, and saving time and working on increased conversion and better user experience. That's what I'm working on with what I sell. And that's, I think, something that's going to always be changing. And in this very instance, it is on the e-commerce front.
Well, that's cool. I mean, user experiences and customer experience is key, even offline nowadays. But I understand the company you're working for now was originally a startup, and then it got bought out. So how did that, what were the dynamics of working in a corporation that bought out a startup?
So I was hire number 6, and I was, as I said before, I was poached by my friend Tom, who, good friend of mine, and the company at the time was called Addressy. And then right when I got hired, they got acquired, and super, super cool because, all right, they don't really want to mess with our culture. They don't really want to jerk us around too much because we did something right to get acquired, or so you think, right? And there's lots of funding. So it's kind of sweet at the beginning, but just as the day goes by, you kind of see, there's another process here that I didn't realize was a thing, or, there's another person in the department that I need to get this approved by. And that's where it starts kind of becoming a revolving cycle of meeting for the sake of meeting. For example, let's talk about that last meeting so that we can prepare for the next meeting instead of just going straight to, okay, this is what we're doing, and we're doing this Friday. Sound good? Sounds good. Or why don't you figure it out? You can't really figure it out as much. You have to kind of go through some kind of process. And if you do figure it out, here's what I've really learned. And hopefully my boss isn't listening, because the person above you will probably get credit for something that you figure out, because you have to pass it through the chain of command.
Right.
So that's the difference, the biggest difference, I would say there.
Mm. And do I understand that the larger company was also international, so it does open up other markets and opportunities?
Completely. But so it's based in the UK and has 25 offices worldwide. However, I would say that any company, even if it's got one location in New York or it's one location in Germany or Kuala Lumpur, they can be truly international as well. Being truly international doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a headquarters based in Europe or something like that, because the world is so interconnected right now, and it's able to break down barriers like we've never seen before. Even with all the political actions that might cause trade restrictions and whatnot, you're still able to actually deliver things within days from one side of the world to the other, maybe even less time. Where this becomes kind of an interesting issue is, yes, you're an international company. However, with that comes so many different cultures and so many different values and priorities. So what's most important to the UK headquarters might be very different to what's most important to New York. Or I can give a good example of, I hate things taking a long time, and I hate people who walk slow since moving to New York, whereas people take long strolls and they treat business the exact same way based out of Chester, England. So it's very different ways of doing things, cultures, even different pay structures. It's that's something that is kind of an interesting thought of an international company come a lot of international growing pains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we're just about to wrap it up, but I wanted to ask, kind of in the bigger term or longer term sense for you, I mean, what's next for you? I think, as far as I know, you always want to be a deal maker and work on the global stage. But, what are you thinking now for your longer term future? What do you think you have in mind, or what would be cool for you?
Completely. So I'm happy to say I'm now officially becoming a deal maker on the global stage. Closed some big brands of late, such as Revolve, which is a big clothing brand, Thinks, which is a more specific women's brand, also Love Pop Cards, Baked by Melissa, for all the cupcake eaters out there. It's the best cupcakes. So I've now got this Rolodex of pretty well-known, the BBC also, companies under my umbrella who I've brought in, which is really where I wanted to get. And I think the next step from there is doing something on my own accord, something that I can say, I've created this, and people below me look to me as a leader to take this to the next level. Now, will that happen this year or next year? Probably not, just because I'm still 25 in New York, and there's still a lot that I need to prove and do to get to that level. However, I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by very entrepreneurial people who are successful. I have you as a good example and Dad, but also one of my roommates, Paul, was employee number 1 at Jungle Creations, which now has 275 employees internationally. So it's quite nice knowing that there are people who have done it living under my roof. It's not a pipe dream. It actually happens, and it happens to those around you. So I think that will probably be the next step when the time is right.
Wow, that's incredible. And do you still desire to live internationally, or at least have access to international travel, or do you see yourself staying in New York for the longer term?
I have no ties to anywhere, which is nice. I'm happy to go wherever and find home wherever. At the moment, it's New York. Next year, it might be Australia. Who knows where? But I think that, I guess, the Aristotle kind of way, all I know is I know nothing. I don't really know where I want to be, and I'm kind of excited about it.
Well, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, my goodness, Marlowe Brand, if people wanted to send an email to you, is there one you might give them, or a website you might send them to?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can just go to the marlowebrand@gmail.com email and shoot me any questions. Or if you want to come hang out in New York, I'm busy, but you know what? It's a good time when you get here.
So that's Marlowe, MARLOWE brand @gmail.com. That's a big invitation, Marlowe. I might take you up on it.
I think I invited you once or twice, so you're welcome to come.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for taking time. I know you're still literally in the middle of your busy day, and thank you for taking time out. And I just want you to know I'm so proud of you and the man you've become and are continuing to unfold into. So go for it. And thanks for being in my life, and thanks for being here with us on Living Legacy Leadership.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. And thanks as well to our listeners. We want to thank you for tuning in every week, and we hope you come back next week. Bring some friends, and also tune in for archived shows on the SOBradionetwork.com and GameChangerThinking.com as well. And thanks to our producer, Joe. We admire and appreciate you so much as well. And that's it for today. This is Donna signing off and reminding you that the life you live is the legacy you leave. Bye-bye now.